Tonight on Podcast Them Down, we're talking about how to waste precious human life for the purposes of entertainment.
Cast them down.
So I was watching a documentary starring Bob Odenkirk last night called Nobody. Have you seen this movie, Nobody?
I actually haven't.
All right, so basically, Bob Odenkirk is hyper-violent for no reason. So that's the movie, and it goes on for 90 minutes, and it's pretty good. But that got me to thinking: how many people die on screen in various movies? And luckily, the internet has already taken care of it for us. So there's a website called moviebodycounts.com.
Oh, nice.
And they have volunteers go and watch movies and count how many people die on camera. And so we count only physically visible on-screen kills/bodies in a film. Nothing that is hypothetical or off-screen is counted in the final tallies. A body/kill must be shown on screen in some form to be included as a body count on the site, and planets exploding doesn't count.
See, right here, right off the jump, I feel like that's a huge problem with their methodology because it's a question of scale. I mean, I think if you have a planet blowing up, sure, we need to conjecture like how many people live on that planet, but if the explosion of the planet is on screen, it should fucking count.
And is this just simulated deaths?
Or like actual deaths of actors?
Yeah, I mean...
So The Crow would have one, right? So that's like a death on screen. I mean, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying their methodology is perfect. I'm saying it's readily available numbers.
Okay, all right.
With movies. So, I guess everyone, nothing's more metal than caveats.
I mean, because I'm pretty sure in Doug's favorite Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens, we see them blow up at least 10 planets. And we know like Coruscant itself has like 30 million people or 30 trillion people on it. It's a city planet. So that in itself is probably the most violent movie of all time.
Yes, but there are no visible deaths on screen.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true. I think if you see someone's planet turn into a ball of flame, that's a visible death. It's a question of scale. I mean, do we actually see? So I would ask these gentlemen, these so-called volunteers, do you actually see their hearts stop? Like, are you doing BP on them? Or is that just an assumption that someone who's shot in the head by John Wick dies? I don't know. I think it's slipshod and sloppy.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
You need confirmation.
So, are you done poking holes in my only data source?
When
what's the objective here? We got to be scoring something.
Well, so here's what I was thinking. We could take pairs of movies.
Okay.
And you can guess which one had more people die on screen. Or you could just throw out a movie. Each of you throws out a movie. And I'll look it up in the top 100. Because I'm not going to be Googling. I'll look it up on the top 100 in moviebodycounts.com.
Just concerned that we've already established that their methodology is flawed.
Yeah, but keep bearing in mind that planets exploding don't count.
I get that, but it's not a goddamn correct list if Commando isn't in the top 10 at least.
When we see the American torpedo. No, it's Konovalov's torpedo hit his Alpha submarine at the end of the Hunt for Red October, and his whole submarine explodes. That's a direct on-screen death. I assume all those people on that ship died. I saw the submarine.
There's your problem.
It hit with a torpedo.
You assumed they're dead. You didn't watch them die. Now in Commando,
I saw a torpedo hit their submarine.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking
that doesn't mean anything.
G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra,
and that means 0 buddies. Now,
so to review, when the flying saucers were over all those cities in Independence Day, nobody actually died.
You don't see them die on screen. Okay, hang on. Here's a point of reference. You bring up Commando. You think Commando should be in the top 10. How many people do you think die in Commando?
Between 80 and 112.
It is between 80 and 112. 88 people die on camera in Commando. It is number 74. Here are some movies. I'm just going to make Doug mad now. Here are some movies where more people die on camera than in Commando. 90 people die in Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest.
Oh my God.
In Kill Bill Volume 1, 95 people die. In Blade 2, 98 people die. In The Scorpion King, I believe that stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, 105 people. What's that?
Okay. It doesn't count if they're computer generated.
Well, then you're really not going to like number 1.
That's very Beowulf.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay, wait, did the dead men of Dunharrow count as people?
No, they didn't. No, they were ghosts, so they're already dead.
Okay, so they're already okay. All right, I just want to establish.
The zombies aren't on here; they don't count.
There are zombie movies.
Well, this list is bullshit.
All right, so do you want to spend the episode drafting the letter?
Maybe.
I think the best thing to do is proceed, and then we can determine how angry we get, and maybe that will point us in the direction that this episode is going to end.
So how about I give you 2 movies, you guess which number's higher, and then you say why it's wrong. How about that?
Okay. I like this a lot.
Oh, I did find an alternate site. I don't know if they do their numbers the same way. There's bodycounters.com. Every body counts. Fresh bodies only. Dream sequences do not count, but flashbacks do. People that get turned into zombies then die only count once. Sounds like they thought this out a little more than bodycounts.com.
Even if we can quibble with their what counts as an on-screen death, I do think among those more traditional on-screen deaths, they do have a pretty solid rationale. So it might be worth it.
And now this thing is freezing. I want to see if they have a.
Gods of Egypt.
Our first paired Toy Story 1, Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3? I didn't know. I don't know. I selected some pairs here.
Okay.
Small Soldiers. Would that be on here?
Oh, like the toy soldier, like the one with Arlie Ermy as the toy soldiers.
Yeah, that's inexplicably rated PG-13.
That's a great film. I think I really enjoyed that film.
Okay, so this other website, bodycounters.com, has Melancholia listed as the top because it says 7 billion people die in it. And here's the problem with including planets. And then next is Knowing, which it just says all of Earth except for 2 kids and 2 rabbits. So
I think movie.
This site is way looser.
I agree. I think as much as it pains me to say, I think the on-screen deaths are a more traditional sense of death. is correct in that sense.
Fourth most is Star Trek 2009 with
Vulcan.
5,999,995,635 and one alien creature. They can't possibly know to that precision.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's directly stated in the movie.
I mean, I think they probably had like a rough number for Vulcan, and then all the ships that were ambushed by Nero, and then like the Kelvin. It gets up there. I agree.
Yeah.
I can see that.
If
somebody pulled out their ships of the line reference book and went through. Yeah. Okay.
And if you're including planets, are you including people who just happen to be dying at any given moment? Anyway, so
that's a good point, because then like any movie could have a lot of deaths.
All right, so between Predator and Under Siege, which one has a higher body count? If I had my soundboard, this would be the TikTok.
I mean, Predator has a lot of graphic death, but I feel like that original Predator, it's a fairly small commando team in the jungle.
But when they hit that camp where the Russians are, that's probably good for 40 people right there. Yeah. And then the rest of the movie, it's just them.
Yeah, and I mean, Predator 2 takes place in the city. We have the Haitian mob. It's much. I'm gonna have to go with Under Siege. I think it's more. It seems counterintuitive, but I think, it's a big ship. Steven, I'm gonna go with Under Siege.
I'll be contrarian and go with Predator, but Matt could be right. There's a lot of gratuitous death in Under Siege.
I feel like Under Siege is the kind of thing where like Steven Seagal has like a spray paint can, lights it on fire, and it like floods a whole compartment with fire. Yeah. And that like you could take out 10, 12 guys easy.
And there's that scene where he dances and they just cut to his legs because they aren't his. Man, Casey, those are some moves.
So I'm looking up for the next one, but it turns out it is Under Siege by one kill, 65 to 64. Yep.
Wow.
All right.
They do kill a hell of a lot of people in that. What country is that? Yeah, that village.
It's like Nicaragua or Guatemala or somewhere. Wow, okay. I'm already intrigued here. I mean, I like where this is going.
All right, you want to rank this one? Rambo. Sorry. First Blood. Mm-hmm. Rambo: First Blood Part 2. Rambo 3. Or Rambo the 2008 movie. So that's First Blood, Rambo: First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, or 2008's Rambo.
2008, First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo.
Wait, can you remind me which Rambo is the Burma one and which Rambo is the Afghanistan one?
All right, so
Burma's 2008, Afghanistan is Rambo 3.
Okay.
It's a good buddy cop movie. It's a good movie.
There's a Rambo 5 called Rambo Last Blood, which seems pretty awesome. Okay.
That wasn't I know. Or not.
I know for a fact that despite the popular notion of Rambo as a bloody film, the first Rambo, at least, is not so bloody. So that's the last. That's absolutely the last.
I feel like that one's a gimme if you've ever seen them. Because the first Rambo was him walking for a while.
I mean, he's hanging out. He's hiding out.
I call it the first Rambo. I need to be pedantic, because what's more metal than being pedantic? First Blood is him walking a lot.
Yeah, and
it's in a different genre. I mean, it's in the crazed Vietnam veteran drama genre, Cutter's Way and stuff like that.
And it's really not an action film per se. It's more of a suspense film, right? It's like we need, like Rambo in this case is like the shark in Jaws. It's not that the threat of him is more ominous than any actual violence we see him do.
All right. So part 2,
now the hard
Rambo
part.
3 or Rambo is next. I think Doug, you said Rambo 3 is next, right? Increasing.
Wait, what are my two? Rambo 3 or?
So it's we're going with 2008 Rambo First Blood Part 2, and Rambo 3. Which one has the least out of those? We're going up.
It's probably Rambo 3.
I'm actually gonna go with a solid progression. So I'm gonna say Rambo 2 is the next most violent.
So projecting ahead, or are you gonna say Rambo 3 then Rambo 2008?
Yeah, I actually think this doesn't tell us much about Rambo as much as it tells us about our cultural appetites. So I believe that like 2008 audiences want to see a lot more blood and guts and on-screen deaths than like 1992 or whenever the second Rambo was.
I'm going to modify my opinion to match Matt's. First Blood Part 2 is certainly more violent, but the third one is PG-13, so you can kill a lot more people.
Well,
don't show the squibs.
You got it exactly right. So First Blood didn't even make the top 100, and then First Blood Part 2 has 67. Rambo 3 is 127, and Rambo 4 is 247.
Nice.
So it doubles every time.
I mean, I think that's a great win for the American people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I totally think you're right about 2008 Rambo is just like death for no reason.
It called out some important socio-political issues in countries we forgot about, just like the third Rambo.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, next. Star Wars 6 or Star Wars 4? So that's Return of the Jedi or A New Hope. Which one had more?
So you mean 2 and 3? Just to be clear.
1 and 3.
So the 1977 Star Wars, and then Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about.
Yes.
So a methodological question. Like at the end of the Return of the Jedi, we see like the big Ewok celebration, and they have like a xylophone made of stormtrooper heads. Now, I had always assumed that the Ewoks had eaten them, and those were just like an Aztec skull rack.
Oh, I like that.
So I wonder if they would count those deaths. I mean, because Ewoks we know Ewoks are cannibalistic. I mean, why else do they capture everybody? It's only when Luke displays his Force magic that they believe C-3PO was their golden god. So, I mean, the Ewoks are intent on eating people, and I believe the rebels were more than happy to let them eat a bunch of innocent Imperial soldiers.
How many of these soldiers may have been eaten?
Yeah, that's the question, right? Because we also see like
the number is surprisingly close.
I mean, but in the first one, we see like Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen go to Skeleton Town. We see like a bunch of people. We see like Porkins blow up when his X-wing is shot.
Is Porkins his name?
Stay on target.
Yeah, the real name of the fat X-wing fighter is Porkins. It's the best thing in the world. Stay on it, Porkins.
God.
Oh, he's the guy. He thinks he can make it, right?
Yeah.
He thinks he can make it. 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 He thinks he can
Yeah.
The light is, yeah. And then, yeah.
But what he couldn't do is fit into his flight suit.
Does Porkins count for 1 or 2?
According to Wikipedia, John Jack Tano Porkins, nicknamed Piggy, was a human male trader and pilot from Bestine 4.
We learned this in a trilogy of novels.
Yeah.
That now don't count.
He's so fat. Man, I should be Porkins for Halloween.
I think it'd be easy. You just have to buy like a child-sized rebel.
You just need to buy like an X-Wing suit.
Right.
I mean, they just wore like an orange like trash man coverall and like a World War II fighter helmet.
Yeah, buy one in an extra small and you're done. I think this is going to air after Halloween.
I mean, next Halloween.
I'm going to be the Last Jedi for Halloween. I want to be the movie.
Just the film.
All right. So, 4 or 6. New Hope or Return?
I'm going to say Return of the Jedi because, again, I think... No, I'm gonna take it back. Wait, hold up. People die on the sail barge. Return of the Jedi. Totally Return of the Jedi. People fall into the Sarlacc pit.
They kill like 20 people on the Death Star. Yeah, 10 people on Tatooine, and then whoever dies when they bomb the dam. I mean, fly the trench.
And they better not count fucking Boba Fett dying in the Sarlacc, because spoiler alert, he didn't die. Watch The Mandalorian season 2 and 3 coming soon to Disney Plus.
Well, you raise a good point, Matt. I think half the deaths in that movie are going to be undone.
Yeah, they're like reversed.
15 years.
Okay, so according to the website, Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope has 75, while Star Wars 6: Return of the Jedi has 69. But I believe we have established that there is a large enough margin of error that it's essentially a tie.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch these. And
Oh, now that's a good follow-up. We pick one that we think is the wrongest.
We
got to test their rules.
I wonder if... Now that this is a methodology question, but are we only talking about human deaths? Because, like,
that's a good
thinking
question.
over
I don't know.
Like, does Jabba the Hutt dying count? Does the dead Ewok that his friend is trying to wake up after the blaster blasts him, like, do they count? Like, for example, I don't know, some movie with animals, like one of my favorite remakes, Red Dragon, features like a dead dog. Does the dead dog count in the body count, or the Jacoby's cat?
Yeah, because that's what threw Matt and I off. There's a lot of aliens that die in the third one.
But I bet they're more like bona fide humans or whatever it is that the Imperial biological race is.
So the website, it probably uses the same definition as the Empire.
Yeah, which in itself is oddly fitting. This human-centrist position.
It should be counted per the explicit or implicit criteria of the movie.
Like if we saw General Thrawn killed on screen, would he count as a catist?
No,
because he got blue skin and red eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he may be a great military leader and passionate about art, but doesn't count at the end.
Goddamn catistas.
All right.
Well, there's that emperor.
I don't know how I feel about this one. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or the crappy Indiana Jones. That's the fourth one. The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Okay. Now, I know from
probably the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I feel like Spielberg was incredibly gun shy in that fourth one.
I know from Doug's favorite thing, Red Letter Media, that the Crystal Skulls has the least direct murders of any of the Indiana Jones films. And because of that, what was the other movie again? It was The
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or
Lion,
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I mean, there are a lot of like half. But I don't know, because I know there's a big battle, but doesn't like Aslan's selfless death on the cross like redeem everyone who's dying on the battlefield? So aren't they like born into a new Jerusalem with a new body and a new spirit at the end of that?
Hey,
film?
yeah, are they doing like net deaths?
Yeah.
They factor in the transcendental and the metaphysical.
Yeah,
realms.
because I mean, does an on-screen death count if it's then reversed? This is a big methodological question. So
the Left Behind movies would be interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So if the question is like seeing someone die, even if they're restored through the power of justification by faith at the end of the movie, I'm gonna say it's Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. But if deaths that don't stick, which I think is a pretty good disqualifier for death, if deaths that don't stick don't count, then it's the other one.
I've already forgotten one
I mean,
or more of the movies.
I don't know.
Whatever Matt said.
He's given enough doubt that according to the website, it's Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But again,
Okay.
I feel like the margin of the error is very high. All right. So here's one: A Fistful of Dollars,
Okay.
or Army of Darkness.
What was that zombie rule? Zombies count, but
that
only
was the
once?
other website.
Oh, fuck. Do
I
skeletons count?
That's a good question. They are separate deaths, are they not?
I think we have to assume that those skeletons are deaths.
So if you kill someone and they become a zombie, that's a net zero death.
Right.
They're still alive. So
These are specifically the Evil Dead, I believe.
Yes. Let's say you kill the zombie, he comes back as a skeleton. You're still at zero.
Right.
Unless the skeleton's a new entity.
Ooh.
It's like a ship of thesis thing. What was the first one? It was
Fistful of Dollars.
Fistful of Dollars. Classic spaghetti western gunslinging.
Yeah, there's a Civil War scene in that.
Yeah. It's Fistful of Dollars. You're right, Doug. You're right. 100% Fistful of Dollars.
It is Fistful of Dollars by 2 kills. 109 to 107. All right.
That's a lot of deaths.
Apocalypto. Or Hot Shots Part 2.
It's gonna be Hot Shots.
That's Hot Shots Part 2 is my favorite Ryan Stiles theatrical release. And there's a lot of great people. Rowan Atkinson plays the doctor,
right, he is in that.
I believe.
And it's got the what's his name doing the three bears.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a question because in Hot Shots Part 2, Saddam Hussein, as we all know, is killed, but then he emerges like the T-1000 and merges with his dog. So is that a double death when he's smashed the second time?
Good question.
I mean, Hot Shots Part 2 does have, like, the chicken arrow.
I feel like it's got a lot. What's the other movie? I tuned it out as soon as I heard Hot Shots Part 2.
It is. I lost it. Hang on.
Apocalypto. Apocalypto is a really disturbingly violent film. It has that Ewok skull rack we were talking about.
Any guesses?
I'm gonna say it's Apocalypto, but I will also say that tonight I will purchase Hot Shots Part 2 on Amazon Prime and watch it.
Yeah, begrudgingly, I got to go with Matt's logic.
Well, you might be happy to discover it's actually a tie at 114.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right, Blade or Blade Trinity?
I think Blade Trinity counts as a movie.
I mean, Blade Trinity the one that had Satan in it for some reason? No, Lucifer or Dracula. So Blade 2, Blade is a great film. Blade 2 is a great film. It introduced like the creepy, open-facey CGI vampires, like the super vampires. It used them really successfully. And then Blade Trinity ruined it all. By number one saying, you know what Blade needs? It's a wacky Ryan Reynolds sidekick, and also
I'm
Jessica
David
Biel.
S. Goyer, and I should direct.
Jessica Biel, she's a perfect match for Blade. Yeah,
and I feel like Chris Christopherson's death on screen is like -1, like it.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's
so it's
taken away.
Original Blade versus Blade 3.
There's so many people. Well, like, are vampires people?
Yes. I think in this case, vampires count as people.
I think they're more people than zombies. Now that I said that,
they're definitely more people than zombies.
Now that I say that, I'm not sure I believe that.
You know what? I'm gonna vote with my heart instead of my head and say Blade is more violent than Blade 3, even though it probably isn't.
I'm gonna vote with my head and just say Blade 3 because killing a bunch of people was all they had. I don't even remember the movie.
It's really bad.
It was Blade 3. Doug got that one. I lost the numbers, but who cares? It's Blade 3. Okay, here's a good one. Dawn of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead 2004? Okay.
Oh, shit.
Regrettably, it's Dawn of the Dead 2004.
You think so?
Yeah, I remember in the end when they run over everyone.
Oh right, yeah. right.
And the opening's all excessively violent.
Yeah,
it's an effective movie. It's just pointless.
I mean, so far in this game, cynicism has not steered us wrong. Cynical answer: the soft, I guess the hard reboot, Dawn of the Dead 2004, right?
One where they forgot to create any characters.
Well, characters are extraneous. It's a movie, Doug.
It turns out it was actually the first one. See, I baited you for that.
Oh man!
All right, but yeah, what about the Dario Argento cut?
Oh, see, I don't know.
I think you have to go with theatrical cut.
Right.
Well, they're both a theatrical cut.
Okay.
I don't know which cut.
Are we gonna? I mean, yeah, we should impose American values in the world and decree that the George Romero version's the only one, even though I think the Argento one was released in Europe.
You know what we should do? We should book the people who spent a lot of time to make this website and just grill them relentlessly on the next episode of Podcast in Town.
Yeah, and I am not going to watch the 2004 one again. But I don't understand how more... I mean, yeah, the Romero one is insanely violent, but they didn't have that much money.
Yeah, well, they had enough for 175 people to die, or zombies. Because they're absolutely counting zombies. So, whether that disqualifies it or not.
I would have thought they run over that many people at the end of the 2004 one. I guess they're not counting zombies burn up. That doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, let's do a couple of these quickly. Braveheart or Dune?
Fuck.
Dune
all right.
or Doom?
Dune.
Yeah, is that
Dune, not D-O-O-N.
Is that my favorite David Lynch movie? It's actually my second favorite David Lynch movie after Eraserhead. But shit. I think what was the first one?
Braveheart. Braveheart or Dune?
They're basically the same movie, one done well and one done poorly. Use the Irish. That's Edward III in that movie. I thought it was a great disservice. Is that James McGowan, who's Edward III in Braveheart? I think it is. I am gonna go with Dune. Just because I feel like Dune is a bigger planet. I know we don't count spaceship deaths, but there's a lot of spaceship deaths, and there's a lot of I'm gonna say Dune.
Yeah, I concur with Matt.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's definitely more Sting caused deaths in Dune.
Yeah. It's 186 to 184. All right. Quickly, Starship Troopers or Saving Private Ryan?
Oh, are we counting bugs as deaths?
That's a good question. I would bet they don't.
I will say Starship Troopers is one of the most underrated movies ever.
It's
film.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
Great film.
And like if you casually watch it, you're like, that's so dumb. But like, you're who they're making fun of.
Yeah, and they get Doogie Howser to dress in an SS coat.
Yeah, like a literal
nobody
SS.
notices.
Yeah.
I also like how it's a stinging critique of actual Robert Heinlein's political views.
Yes.
Okay, now everyone thinks of Saving Private Ryan as a really violent movie, but I can tell you it's really that first, 30-minute scene on the beach, and then after that, it's a bunch of walking around. And meanwhile, Starship Troopers has several very graphic scenes and a lot of deaths. So I'm going to say that Saving Private Ryan, if you were having a metric of most deaths per frame or most deaths per section, I think they're like speed. They would have a higher kill per second ratio than they would achieve the higher
like
speed.
This, and then it drops.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the scenes in Starship Troopers have a lower death count per scene, but more scenes and therefore more deaths.
It doesn't matter what this website says. The answer is Starship Troopers.
Well, yeah, because Buenos Aires is obliterated by that asteroid.
Oh, this is a good segue, actually.
And
we literally see the slot machine body count. It's like body deaths.
All right, well, this website says Starship Troopers has 256 to Saving Private Ryan's 255. So it is Starship Troopers. All right, so they also. So I said it was a good segue because they won't do planets, right? But they have no problem there, including the entire Titanic for some reason. So.
What's the ship in Starship Troopers, Matt? I'm trying to remember.
The Axiom.
No. It's called the.
That was Wally. That was a joke.
It's some like World War II.
Roger, but no, it's some kind of weird name.
No, it's named after a World War II enlisted Medal of Honor winner. It's like the William Rogers or something.
Yeah, it's something like Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah, because all the ships are named after like World War II heroes that Heinlein thought were like perfect specimens of masculinity. Shit. What is the ship? I'll find it. The Roger Young.
Yeah.
A Roger Young. That's the name.
I don't understand. Like, even if you subscribe to Hywood's political views, that's a terrible book. Nothing happens in it.
I mean, it did define a genre. I mean, it did like shape all thought about space war.
That's true, and it came up with power armor, and space war, and.
But that's another reason why I think Starship Troopers is a great critique of the book itself, because like Starship Troopers, the book does everything leading up to it, and then actually something's going to happen. Next chapter, it's the aftermath, right? It almost elades over combat itself, much like Robert Heinlein. Hey,
I don't have my sound machine. It's too slow. You're too slow.
Okay, so what's the thing here?
All right, I got two pairs left. One is gonna make Doug furious. All right, so Titanic or 300.
Well, I know for a fact 300 people died in 300.
Well, you're right, because I guess the Persians don't count as people in that world. In that world, to be very clear.
Right? Yeah. Don't isolate that.
It's got to be. I mean, I don't care what the website says, but it's 300 because you do not see 1,000 some people die in Titanic.
All right, their number for Titanic is 300.
No, I think you see. I think you see all those people die, right?
The number in Titanic.
That doesn't seem.
Are you ready?
A lot of people died in Independence. So 2012 is that is that in the top 10?
So 2012 isn't because the planet dies, and you only see the people
like
who
the
live.
North.
You really see a lot of those people die, though.
Oh, you're right, but I wonder if it. I don't know. It's not on here, but 300 is.
All right, what's the answer? Body count?
All right, so Titanic is 307, and 300 is 600.
That tracks. Okay, so they're counting the whole ship. All right, I have respect for them.
They should really rename 300 600, by the way.
All right.
Yeah, they need to be inclusive. It's the 21st century, not some kind of Nazi Frank Miller nightmarescape. As much as I love RoboCop 2.
I mean, that's a fun nightmarescape.
How could a movie be so good and so bad at the same time?
I don't know.
Where's
right,
that?
Our final one. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Extended Edition. Two Towers, Extended Edition. Or The Return of the King, Extended Edition. Now, I don't know why they specifically bring up Extended Edition, because a lot of the Extended Edition is a bunch of nothing.
No, I'm sure there's like an extra 12 seconds in each battle scene. That's like barely perceptible to human attention, but nonetheless adds to body counts.
Right, the 2-page scene that they expanded to 35 minutes of the running time.
Yeah. Are we counting male and female deaths? Because as you know, I am no man.
And only humans?
I think we got to count orcs and or urukai. Because aren't urukai like...
You beat me to it.
Aren't they... Yeah, aren't urukai like closer to men than like Mordor orcs or something?
I don't know.
This?
We got to call up Dave for that one.
Yeah. That'll be our next argument.
I mean, it's definitely not Fellowship.
But okay, flashbacks count, right? So we see some of the last war. Do we? No, that's at the beginning of the Two Towers, or is that in Fellowship?
I think Fellowship
when
just has
you see the ring being cast and lost. That's all in Fellowship.
But Isildur doesn't lose his life at that point, just his fingy. So,
my fingy.
Or whatever that is in like Elfish. Excuse me, Keta. I agree. Fellowship is probably the last, although I think it does get pretty violent in the Mines of Moria, but not that violent. Two Towers has like, the Battle of Helm's Deep. It has, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, that's in that one.
And then the Rohirrim show up. But Return of the King has to be the most deathy. Is it trite? Is it going to be just a simple like crescendo 1, 2, 3?
I think so.
It is, and
nice.
To add to that, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King Extended Edition is the movie with the top on-screen deaths on the website at 836.
Wow.
Are the extended editions actually good movies?
I'm not the right person to ask because I think they are. I'm hardly non-biased. But like Doug pointed out, the vast majority of those are going to be CGI deaths.
Yeah.
Because it's
the occasional
giant armies battling.
And the occasional oily font.
Yes. Where did he come up with such an exotic creature? But yes, I like them, but what do I know?
Well, I need to rewatch them because,
And also, to be fair, I don't think I've sat down and watched them all the way through. I'll watch half of one. I'll spread it over 6 days.
I believe when you were snowed in 2010.
Oh, when
we had 24 inches of snow, you and Jenny watched I don't think it was in one day, but I just remember like going out to shovel the snow, and then you were still watching it, like going to bed and waking up, and you were still watching it.
Yep, sounds about right. Notice how he did all the work.
I remember my roommate and a friend watched all the extended editions in one day, and we were making fun of them, except myself and a friend were during that exact same time. We're playing this simulator of the 2004 presidential election. What losers?
All right, here's a brilliant idea for our forthcoming Podcast 'em Down Patreon. We will release a full watch-along podcast with each of these extended versions featuring Timothy, Douglas, myself, and David, and it will be incredible.
How many patrons are we going to need to do that?
I mean, we at least 4.
All right, it has to be more than us.
Yeah. We at least have to be doing it for each of us need to bring at least one patron.
All right, I got dibs on Mom.
All right, I call Dad. No, wait, I called Doug's dad.
My dad has read. I forget if he's seen those movies, but he's read 2 works of fiction in the last 30 years. You want to know what those books are? Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
And the Da Vinci Code.
Oh,
I thought you said fiction, Doug.
Yeah. There's only one fiction book there.
I think. Okay, so write in with your corrections to these numbers, and because we're gonna. I like the idea of formulating a scathing critique of their methodology, because I feel like Doug brought up a lot of good points. You brought up a lot of good points, and I just want to write a nasty letter. I think that'd be fun.
I agree, and it's very metal to do that, knowing full well, not knowing and not giving a shit about the fact that we could not come up with a better set of rules ourselves.
100% not.
It's true.
Our job is to ruin the work of others, not necessarily to do it ourselves. We got better things to do.
That's right. All right. Any last words?
So it turns out the Colorado Avalanche are the most metal hockey team. Good night, Metal Nation.
Wrong episode.
Oh, sorry.
Cast.